We're digging deeper into the legal battle over Title 42. The Supreme Court has temporarily extended the Trump-era policy, which expels migrants at the border, sending them back to Mexico or their nation of origin. Now, originally, it was meant to prevent the spread of COVID, but now it's virtually the only tool Border Patrol can use to stem the historic migrant surge. Now, people from all over the world are trying to cross. In a NewsNation exclusive, we spoke with a man from Russia who says he is fleeing war and religious persecution in his country.
Title 42 is from beginning COVID. We waited. I actually also waited for crossing legally, but it's like delayed. But Supreme Court, so we have not any chance.
He says he was being persecuted for his faith in Europe. But I am joined right now by Lieutenant Chris Olivarez with the Texas Department of Public Safety. What is your reaction to Russian and other European migrants entering the U.S. through the Mexico border? How common is this now?
Good morning, Adrienne. So it's very common. And we've been seeing this from the very beginning, since the start of this border crisis, where you have people from over 150 different countries that are making their way to the United States. So it's very common, but especially now what's taking place in Russia, and of course with the war in Ukraine, we're seeing more people from Russia that are actually fleeing and actually making their way to the United States because of the violence, because of what you just mentioned right there for prosecution. So it's going to become very common, especially now knowing that Title 42 at some point is going to be lifted, which is really going to open the floodgates for everyone to come and be released to the country. So we're expecting to see more individuals from all over the world making their way to the United States.
So how much is Title 42 helping right now? We heard that a man who says that, he knows about Title 42. He has some knowledge that you can't just cross and perhaps you might be selected to be deported. But how hopeful are you that Title 42 is actually going to help and that the White House might actually come up with a plan to replace it?
Well, Adrienne, I think, this recent Supreme Court hearing actually provided some relief, to some extent. But the reality is, with Title 42 in place, it's been in place, and look at what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with historic numbers ever since last year. So it really hasn't changed. All it really means that those that were expelled under Title 42 will be released essentially into the country. And if we look at the numbers, just over the weekend, the Christmas holiday, there was over 16,400 encounters at the border during the weekend. Of those, 2,100 were expelled under Title 42, but there were over 14,000 that were released into the country. So it really goes to show you that right now the federal government is not really using Title 42 to its fullest extent. And that's why there's so many that are being released right now into the country. But we're hopeful that at some point there will be a post-Title 42 policy in place. That's what's needed right now to stem the flow of mass migration. If not, we're going to continue seeing people coming across from all over the world and being released into the country. Look what's taking place in El Paso right now, where you have thousands of immigrants that are sleeping in the streets because they have nowhere to go. And that's the cause of the situation right now, the fact that there's no effective policy in place.
There's no effective policy, and people are just captured and then released into the U.S. without any type of real accountability here. Border agents, according to the latest numbers, apprehended nearly 234,000 immigrants in November, but only around 67,000 were expelled under Title 42. Do you know who decides who stays and who goes?
That's a great question. Of course, we don't know, especially on the state side. We don't know how they determine that as far as who's been released, who's going to be expelled under Title 42. We do know that the majority are being released to the country, but also the number you mentioned, those are just encounters. That's not including the over 73,000 known gotaways that were reported for the month of November. Those are individuals that have been able to slip by law enforcement and are now in the country, which we have no idea where they're at, what their backgrounds are. That's very concerning to us for law enforcement, because again, that poses a national security threat, because we have been able to apprehend individuals that were on the terror screening database, also those that have criminal histories, convicted murderers, convicted felons. So that's a serious of the situation right now, that you just don't know who's coming across those borders and who's being released. And also, if those individuals are being vetted properly, we don't know that.
There are projections that 330,000 Nicaraguan migrants could cross into the U.S. during the current fiscal year, but there are challenges in deporting them under Title 42. Why is that?
That's something that the federal government, as far as any agreements they have with Nicaragua, that's where the issues are. I think that the fact that they don't put any pressure on those countries, especially from the Northern Triangle countries, that's why a lot of these individuals are not being expelled back to their country of origin. So we're going to see more individuals making this journey to the United States. There's thousands already that are waiting along the border, especially in Mexico, just waiting for the day that Title 42 is going to be lifted. But also the Mexican cartels, the criminal organizations that Mexico use the messaging from Title 42 to their advantage. They tell these individuals that once Title 42 is lifted, you're going to be released to the country. So that's why so many people are coming, because, again, it's just a driving force for these criminal organizations to exploit these immigrants and profit off of them.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.